My followers in Jeet Kune Do, do listen to this. All fixed set patterns are incapable of adaptability or pliability. The truth is outside of all fixed patterns. So today, let's take a historically contextual look at this Bruce Lee quote and see if we need to deconstruct it for today's JKD culture. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, and welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number, is this 140 or 141? I think it's 141. The one about JKD patterns, to fix or not to fix. So as you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the final edit video over on the YouTube, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell over there. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, consider making a purchase over at the JKD Rebel store. That's jkdrebel.com. Click on the Rebel Gear link and see what we have to offer. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. All right, so this is another one of those, let's call it famous Bruce Lee sayings. I don't know if it's an actual direct quote of something that Bruce Lee said, or if it's just perhaps a rendering of a sentiment that he expressed. But I do know that it used to hang at the Kali Academy. And I got to tell you, when I think of fixed patterns, I personally do not think so much of Jeet Kune Do at all. Because of my background with Sifu Dwight, automatically, when I think of fixed patterns, I think of things like this, like something like this. Right? Or I think of something like this.
Number 4.
Right? That's what I think of when I think of fixed patterns. Sombrada from the Filipino Kali, or the Jurus from Pencak Silat. But as my good friend and former JKD Dialogues partner, Terry Valor, pointed out, in the modern era, you need to make a reference to things like the Ung Moon set, the JKD Kickin set, the Mukjong sets, and all that. But before I get to that stuff, I'd like to encourage people to keep the historical context in mind when you read a Bruce Lee quote, especially here on, look, right here, last week, right here on Facebook, we had one of our infamous discussions. This one was about the difference between an original JKD guy and a Jeet Kune Do concepts guy. And another one of my good friends, and I think he's a 3-time JKD Dialogues partner, Richard Torres. Richard used a Bruce Lee quote in his answer. And I realized that he had one interpretation for the quote, while I had a different, even if similar, interpretation. And one of the reasons behind that was my application of the historical context, right? So this one that we're dealing with today about patterns, this one definitely has to be put into chronological context, because assuming that it's a direct quote of Bruce Lee's, then based on the era, because you can see on the bottom there, it says 1966, which is something that has always troubled me. Then he may have been talking only about the fixed patterns of like the classical or the traditional arts, things like their 3-step sparring, their 1-step sparring, and even the, as per Bruce Lee, the much aligned katas, right? But what is he trying to say? And once we deduce what it is that he's trying to say, then we have to ask the question, is he 100% accurate? So simply put, if I'm right, and I'm usually right about anything to do with Bruce Lee. Ha ha ha! It's a joke, right? Then he's telling the classical martial artists that all of their prearranged stuff will not cut it in a real fight. And so he's admonishing them to get outside of and to go beyond their set patterns. The truth to which he is referring is the truth that we all encounter when we engage in, let's call it, a more alive manner of training, right? Do we agree on that? But is that where you should start someone, or would start someone who is brand new to martial art? Or do you have to give them some kind of a fixed pattern in order for them to get the hang of, to start out and get the hang of things, right? So take boxing, for instance. If I'm going to have to teach somebody boxing, I'm probably going to have to teach them the jab and the cross and the hook and the uppercut as like single techniques in the beginning. And then I'm probably going to have to teach them some kind of combination using those 4 basic techniques. And those combinations, for learning purposes, will probably be in some kind of pattern, won't they? And then when I start teaching counters to those techniques, again, I'm probably going to have to make use of some kind of pattern, maybe even the same patterns that they learned when they were learning to put punches together in an offensive combination. So how am I able to completely break away from patterns in my training? My answer is I can't. I am going to have to make use of patterns. But how? The answer is right there in the quote where Bruce Lee says, all fixed set patterns. That's what has to be eliminated. The fixedness and the settedness. Settedness, it's a word, right? Bruce Lee was saying to the traditionalists that their kata and their prearranged sparring were not what they would use in actual fighting. And so they should redesign their training. Again, to take a look at boxers. Boxers shadow box in a pattern to some extent. They might even drill in a bit of a pattern. But then when they get in the ring, there's no fixed pattern, even if they end up using technique sequences that they may have first learned in a set pattern. But because it is now an alive situation that is based on reaction and reflex and speed and timing and distance and stuff like that, even though it came to them first in a set pattern, in a fixed pattern, now the application of it is no longer fixed. Everything is not going according to script, like an A, B, C, D, E, F, right? So in constructing your training regimen, you make sure that the fixed patterns, the set patterns, consist 100%, if possible, of probable, or what Eric Paulson might call high percentage, right? Attacks and counter attacks and that kind of viable responses. As Burt Richardson would say, everything is tested, right? And then it's put into those training sequence. But here's the key. Ultimately, and this is where Bruce Lee, even though he doesn't use the same phraseology, this is where Bruce Lee is 100% correct. All fixed patterns are meant to be broken. That's really the deal. Now, to go back to what Terry Valor talked about, the modern era, right? So I referred to that a little bit ago. We have, as usual, controversy over things like the Ung Moon set and the Kicking set, and if they're JKD wooden dummy sets or if they're Jun Fan wooden dummy sets, all that nonsense, right? The controversy I'm saying is nonsense. For all of that, I have a single question. Are all those things being trained in an alive manner? Okay, make it 2 questions. Are you using the drill for something, or is the drill using you? And by that, I mean, are you just learning to perform the fixed set sequences, or are you actually taking that drill and turning it into something and making use of it in some way? All right. So what say you? How do you feel about the use or non-use of fixed set patterns in Jeet Kune Do? That's all I got to say in this video. I'm entertaining myself. All right, so that's it for today. Feel free, share, like, comment, ask questions. Actually, let me see if there's anything that I should. I got to teach a private in a little bit, but let me see if there's anything that I should. Oh, that's a long one. Who the heck is that from? Oh, Tony. Geez, Tony, you've been all over this commenting. All right, I can't go through all of that right now, Tony. Geez, man, you can write. Whoa. All right, so who's here? Terry Valor's here. Russell. Hey, Paul Johnson. Francis Cordon. John Nasir. Todd Garrison. Hey, Mark. The volume is too low. All right, sorry about that. Kelvin Malloy. Kevin Porter, what's happening? Birthday Bill Matucci, right? Why do JKD people worry about fixed patterns and boxers and MMA don't? Because JKD talk about stuff instead of doing stuff. Okay, yeah, that's true, right? But here on this program, Bill Matucci, I just talked about doing stuff. You see? So I'm not a JKD person who just talks, right? I talk, do, and then talk about doing stuff. And I even do about talking stuff, right? Hey, Richard Torres, Randy's here, Brooks Long, Bob Landers. The secret of JKD is revealed in Ung Moon. I'm with you, Bob Landers, right? Coase is here. Craig Stanton, hey, all right. Mark Black, nice. Okay, all right, cool. So if you got anything else, I'll go through it after posting the video, right? Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook. And as I asked before, subscribe over on the YouTube for both the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast and the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues channels. And be sure to hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. At ilovejeetkunዶ.com. Quick Skill Series Volume 1 is available. Coming up on Friday the 21st. So I'm going to be, actually, Richard, I'm glad you're here to hear this. I'm going to do an extra issue of this program, the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, right? In expectation of doing a Sunday special or a special Sunday episode of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues with a group of, I call them the North Carolina JKD notables. So that's on Friday, we'll do another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. And then on Sunday, we'll do episode of Jeet Kune Do Dialogues, both at 6 p.m. Today's a yellow shirt. You've seen this one before, all right? And so I'll see some of you here on Friday, some of you maybe on Sunday, and then some of you maybe next Wednesday for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Peace.
Negara, and what is Bukti Negara? Bukti Negara was created from the Asian art of Pencak Silat. What is original come from Indonesia. First, before I demonstrate Bukti Negara, I would like to give a little bit of its history and foundation. Bukti Negara means an art that came from the country and evidence of a country. Bukti means evidence of the witness, and Negara means the country of continent. The birth of Bukti Negara came about when I wanted to create a fighting system that was very efficient, fast, devastating, and have a lot of effectiveness. And is an art easy to teach, easy to learn, and to the point. But how was I going to create this art? One evening, when the sky was clear, and the stars were shining, and the moon was full, I was praying and meditation. How could I create an art with footwork and all its components? Receiving, after praying, guidance through the God Almighty. You can find this in Genesis. The earth was without form. So I looked to the moon and stars, and they were already created. So I have taken the components from the old art and I have given them a certain perspective that you can use. There are many founders, but not many creators. Well, there you have put in the gear. Now we will demonstrate. We start first with salutation. I present myself to the Creator. In the beginning, I present myself to the best of my ability. I ask from the Creator the things of the art. I receive from the Creator the things what I not see, engraved on my heart until the end. Now we're starting. Now we're starting with the jurus or forms from 1 to 8, Bukti Nagara. Juru 1. Juru 2. Juru number 3. Juru number 4. Juru number 5. Juru number 6. Juru number 7. Juru number 8. Now we will see it from the side. Juru number 1, Bukti Nagara, seen from 2 angles. number 2, both ankles. Now we do this judo number 3, both ankles. Judo number 4, both ankles. Judo number 5, both ankles. Judo number 6, both ankles. Judo number 7, both ankles. Judo number 8, both ankles.